Success. What is success? Why are we so obsessed about success? Many of you are smiling. Some of you are pondering. Have a look at this picture. Who do you think the baby is in this picture? It's me. I just turned 1, and that's my mummy. I'm sitting on her lap, somewhere near Bahau, Negeri Sembilan, next to a waterfall. And this picture is very dear and close to my mummy's heart, because this is the only picture she has of me after turning 1. Fast forward 10 years. I watched Art Attack in Disney Channel, and I did a collage of the picture. Can you imagine how my mummy would have felt? Hell did broke loose at home. And of course, she scolded me. But you know what? I'm not to be blamed, right? It's Art Attack, a wonderful show which inspired creativity and innovation for me. It actually made me look at things differently. Not in the question of value, but in the question of innovation and creativity. It did shift my mindset, just like that. So as a child, that photo, to me, is a work of art. And it's a work of disaster in the eye of my mummy. So what is success? I was raised by grandparents, both maternal and paternal, who grew up in colonial Malaya era. To them, success has 2 denominators. The first denominator is academic accolades. Now you know why I did a PhD and got a doctorate title? It was something that they invested upon me ever since I was a toddler. Achieve success, study hard, get good grades. I believe it sounds like music to many of your ears as well, because you too go through the same thing, isn't it? What is the second denominator of success, which my grandparents taught me? It is actually something very, very interesting. It's character. So, personally speaking, do I have a good character? It's very tricky for me to answer. You know why? Yes, I do have a PhD, so that may sound like I'm a good character, right? Someone who's poised, well-mannered, and who can speak in front of a large audience as you. But when it comes to my fashion sense, it also paints a picture of my character, isn't it? Let me share with you a true story. About 5 years ago, I walked into a C-suite meeting with a green hair, exactly the same color as you can see in this photo. Guess what was the first impression about my character from the C-suite? Many raised their eyes. They couldn't believe that I was a subject matter expert, because I didn't look like a subject matter expert simply because I had a green hair. So this shifted my perspective and mindset in terms of dressing sense. So people judge us by how we present ourselves, the choice of our attire, the color of our hair, and most poignantly, the way we speak and present ourselves. Interesting, right? A very different outlook of success. According to Cambridge Dictionary, there are 2 definitions of success. Let's have a closer look at it. The first one is the achieving of the results wanted or hoped for. And the second one, something that achieves good result. Let me ask you a question. What is one single action word that appears in both of these definitions? Can you point it out? There you go. It's achieves. No wonder everybody tells us achieve success, right? But let's look at a different way of looking at success. Achieve success is something that what we always hear. But have you ever thought about this? Mind influences success. What's your thoughts? So this is a statement that actually appeared in my life 15 years ago. After graduating from my MBA from an Australian university, I was back home doing nothing. Why? Because I was actually soul searching. I didn't really know what to do, what career to pursue. So my late father had one interesting agenda in his mind. Over Sunday lunch, he made a prophecy to the entire family. He said, Dinah is not going to chill at home. She can chill anywhere with no pocket money. because he didn't want to give me any money to chill. I had to figure out my own way to chill. So I was wondering how to chill without pocket money. Yeah? It's kind of crazy to just sit at home and do nothing, isn't it? So snap, just like that, thanks to his call to universe, I landed my first job as a management lecturer in a state-of-the-art lakeside campus somewhere in Selangor. So it was in that experience that I realized at the end of the day, whatever a parent wants comes true for the child. But it just takes a different navigation of shift. And interestingly, no one believed that I was a lecturer. Every time I entered the class, they thought I was a student as well. Probably because my demeanor and the way I appeared was much younger like their age. So post completing my tenure as a management lecturer, the world of change came into my life as a matter of chance. Let me ask you one simple question. Do you think implementing change is an easy thing to do? Yes or no? Can I see a show of hands who says no? All right, high five to that. It's a crazy business to implement change. You know why? Every time when change is on board, only two things come to the human mind, which is fear of misfortune and also loss due to uncertainty. And due to that, everyone doesn't like change. But what I have learned is, at the end of the day, change can be implemented. It is a matter of the mind. Why? Because mind influences success, so long we watch our thoughts. So what is the mind and how is it connected to our brain? It's just like this Holy Trinity diagram here. The mind, brain, and neuro-linguistic programming. You can picture it, right? So what is the brain? A brain is a central organ in a human body, which actually controls our body movement, how we actually react to our surroundings, and interestingly, it captivates over our mind. Our mind is a manifestation phenomena which is located through the neural connection of the brain that actually creates the movement of how we feel, how we perceive, and most interestingly, how we assume things around us. So that is the connection between the brain and the mind. So if the brain is dead, do you think the mind is dead? Yes, it is. Because the brain connection is to the mind. And how does NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, comes into the picture of this? Because every thought that is created in the mind, it actually resonates towards the choice of words which we speak, our language. And that, interestingly, triggers the actions or the behavior that mechanizes how we react to our surroundings. Let's play a game. What do you first have coming into your mind when you look at this photo? The first thought. Do you think of some wars happening? Or do you feel there is some shooting training happening? What kind of words pop based on that thought? Is it fear? Is it uncertainty? Is it volatility? And why are some of you sitting a bit distressed after looking at this photo? Some of your eyes have shrunk. Some of you are just, dangling your head around. Why do you feel discomfort when you look at this photo? Let's fast forward. It all started with a thought, isn't it? The thought that you have when you first saw this image actually influenced the kind of words that popped in your mind. And that pretty much affected the feeling that you felt in your heart. So what is this picture all about? This is actually the freedom fighters of Malaya, a group of women who are undergoing training to save Malaya during the wartime. So now with me telling you this story, I can see some of you smile because there is a sense of pride. You see how the thought affects the word and affects the feelings? That is the power of the mind, brain, and NLP. And interestingly, that shapes our mindset shift. Do you like monkey? Have you played with a monkey before? No. Okay. Some of them are fun, some of them are scary. We all came from monkeys once upon a time, isn't it? According to science. What is interesting about human beings and monkeys is that at the end of the day, right, when you hand over a mirror, the first thing they do is they look themselves into the mirror. They don't hand it back to you. So they are subjective beings because emotionally, they would like to know who they are and what they are. Because the mind is in such a way where what they think is who they become. At the end of the day, if you really look into your thought process, especially when you want to make change happen, be it within yourself or your surrounding, the question is, are you looking at things as they are, or are you looking at things as who you are? And this is where cognitive reframing comes into action. The classic 6, something that I've experimented by doing change management across different variety of organizations, and I've actually played with this as a tool and it works. When you want to change perspective, the first thing you have to understand is what exactly is triggering acceptance. And when you understand what triggers acceptance, you'll understand how to validate emotions. So how do you validate emotions? Very simple. You got to identify each emotion that is experienced towards change and understand why is that emotion popping. By having clarity of the why, you get to resonate with empathy. By having a dialogue, which is more compassionate in nature rather than instructive or directive. Because humans don't like to be directed or instructed. They like to be nurtured. And once that is in place, negative belief alteration takes place. Because people understand that what they're going through in terms of whatever change that is not something that they have to resist upon, but it's something that engages them from within. And this enables a balance to come into place, where expectations are navigated in terms of neutrality rather than one-sidedness. And a deep dive of resonance is pictured through a connectivity of engagement. So this is the essence of understanding the human mind. It all starts with thought, and it goes to the choice of words. And last but not least, it lands with the actions or the behavior which we project. And through cognitive reframing, we get to address it step by step. It's easy to speak about cognitive reframing, but how to simplify it or implementation? 3 questions, which is inspired by coaching. The first question is, what do you really want to change? You must understand that, because that is your North Star. Once you identify that, why is it important to you? You got to value the importance of the change. Followed by, how would you like it to be? So that it resonates and it makes sense to you. It's not something alien or off guard. Through this 3 simple question technique, what we are doing is, we're not trying to fix something that we assume as wrong, but we are actually acknowledging what went wrong, and we try to circle back it to an action orientation so that change can be implemented. Just think about it. The last time when you were driving in a traffic congested road, what do you really want? You want the cars to move away and give you space for your car to move, isn't it? But in order to want that, why is it important? Very simple. Perhaps you want to reach your destination on time. But how would you like that to happen? Would you want to drive faster? Or would you want to beep all the way and get the cars to move away? Or bang some cars? Yeah. Life is an irony. You know why? At the end of the day, the behavior and action mechanism which we portray It's all related back to the thought that comes to our mind. So we have to be very, very careful. And this is what, in Botswanian culture, they call as Ari Cheng Cheng. Ari Cheng Cheng means mindset shift. So next time you want to think differently, you want to shift your mindset, just tell yourself, Ari Cheng Cheng. So my take for you today is, at the end of the day, what is success? Mind influences success. Watch your thoughts. Because your life depends on your thoughts. And with that, thank you, ladies and gentlemen.